Hi, I'm Dr. Joseph Marbach. At Georgian Court University, we're committed to educating the public about the importance of higher education and its impact on our communities. That's why we're proud to support the important educational programming produced by the Caucus Educational Corporation.
Funding for this edition of Caucus New Jersey has been provided by RWJ Barnabas Health, the Fidelco Group, ADP, a comprehensive provider of human resources technology and services, Adler Aphasia Center, helping stroke and brain injury survivors recover their speech, the Northward Center, Georgian Court University, and by MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey. Promotional support provided by bestofnj.com, covering all NJ has to offer, and by hipnewjersey.com. Live hard, work hard, play hard. You're from New Jersey, and so are we.
Hi, this is Steve Adubato. Welcome to a very special half hour. You're about to meet some extraordinary people. They don't seek attention, they don't want attention, but they deserve our recognition and our respect. This is the 21st year of the Russ Berrie Making a Difference Award, honoring New Jersey heroes. The people you meet do extraordinary things. They give of themselves. They change people's lives. They don't do it for recognition. They don't do it for money. But I'm confident that you will be inspired, you'll be motivated, you'll be changed in this half hour, and hopefully you too will ask yourself how you can make a difference in the life of someone else. This half hour is going to make a big difference. We are speaking with one of our honorees, Gilman Choudhury from beautiful Paterson, New Jersey, making a big difference in your community. Talk about the work you're doing in your community and why you got so involved.
Well, I work for the Paterson Public School District for the Department of Family Community Engagement. My boss is Director Kemper McDowell. I work as the Community Outreach and Special Projects Coordinator for the district. And what we do is we do a variety of different services. We run mini hospitals throughout the schools. We do citizenship drives, community cleanups. We help parents support their needs to become college graduates, get their high school diploma if need be. We support a variety of different family services from homelessness to social support, anything from applying for Section 8 food stamps. We're there to help the parents and also to be effective parents for their children.
But Gilman, beyond the activities, there's a commitment. As I read about Gilman, growing up in Paterson, there's a deep sense of commitment to this city, to the people who are struggling and suffering in this city. And you told folks that if people do not get active, then the city we live in would fall deeper into decay. Why are you so committed to the city that you grew up in and love so much?
It's the city that I know. I've been going to the school district there since I was in kindergarten. And from all the people I've met, from my neighbors, this is all we have, basically. And if we don't pull together and help each other out and try to make a better world, not only for ourselves, but for the kids coming up, it's going to be lost. It's going to be hopeless for a lot of children growing up in the school district now. We have a unique opportunity for all of us. There's so many talented people in Paterson. There's so many talented people in the school district, city government. And I truly feel as if we all pull together, do our little part, we'll be able to make a little heaven on earth here.
Let me press you a little further. For people who think, well, places like Paterson, I grew up in Newark. Some people think about Camden, other places. They think, they want to stay as far away as they can from places where they think it's a rough place, a difficult place, a challenging place to live. You don't see it that way, do you?
No, not at all. Yes, we have our poverty. Yes, we have some of our issues that large cities like Paterson, urban cities have. But the undeniable mark that I really see, the thing that makes Paterson unique is that we have a lot of talented students, a lot of caring people. And for us to say, well, we're not going to come to the city and invest our resources, help out, you're giving up an entire generation of innovators, leaders, and thinkers. And we have so many brilliant students in Paterson that I feel as if we're able to come together and support them, they'll be the mechanism for our country's growth, but also for the city's rebirth.
Finally, what's your sense today? I mean, we're about to start this great event, its 21st anniversary. And I'm so proud to be a part of it, and I'm just wondering what you're feeling today.
Well, I'm beyond words, really. I never thought any of the work I was doing was going to be mentioned.
You were nominated.
Nominated, yes. Let alone that. I'm truly humbled and proud. I just hope that this is also a rally call for a lot of people living in our city, that you, as long as you do good things, as long as you're working, regardless of winning an award or not, but people do acknowledge your work. And hopefully a lot of our students that are coming up and going to college will come back to the city and provide that same academic and social support to the next generation.
Kaylin Darrow, with Angels of God Clothing Closet. You started this. What is it, and why did you start it?
Yeah, so the Angels of God Community Outreach, I started it back in 2009. Our mission originally started out just giving clothing to those in need. So we collected donations of gently used clothing, and then we gave it to individuals who needed it, whether they were living in a homeless shelter or maybe they recently lost their job and couldn't financially afford necessities. Whatever the situation was, we were always really happy to help. And so it started out with clothing, and now we also do food, and we do pet food, and we do so many different programs as well. We also provide toiletries and all these different really wonderful necessities. So
Why?
I started it because my family and I had went through a very tumultuous time when I was younger. We overcame domestic violence, and for a time we received assistance from a domestic violence shelter. And I just remember a few years later, looking back on that time, we'd also went through a house fire and lost a lot of items and clothing. And seeing my community come together and help us really, really inspired me. And I just remember thinking about that years later and wanting to give back to the community and wanting to be on the other side and really be able to help others.
What's it feel like being with these other wonderful honorees today who are making such a big difference?
It feels amazing just hearing everyone's stories. I was talking about that with one of the other honorees, just hearing what everyone has done. It's such a motivating environment, and also being able to network with everyone else is really great too, because I'm like, oh, hey, my nonprofit does this and you do that and maybe we can work together. So that's really encouraging.
We're here with a real leader, someone who is making a difference every day, and she is Lorna Henkel from Sea Caucus. And she's connected with a group, started a group called First Friends of New York and New Jersey, which does?
Well, actually, you know, we are real New Jersey people. It's New Jersey and New York. We visit people who are detained for their immigration difficulties, and they are in the Elizabeth Detention Center and 3 county jails, Hudson, Bergen, and Essex. And people are detained for a number of reasons. Some of them are detained because they have been seeking asylum. They've come across one of our borders or been detained at an airport. And we visit them because there's often people who have no family or friends to visit.
So you had been involved in social justice your entire life, and you're at a party, someone uses the word detainee, it hits you, and then what happens?
I said, how do you do that? And so First Friends, which was called Irate in First Friends at the time, trains you to visit people. So I did. I went, and it was 2008.
What do you think most Americans, let me put it this way, most misconceptions about detainees? What are the biggest misconceptions?
Well, I think we're hearing a lot about those misconceptions now in the news all the time. Everyone thinks they're criminals, and that's why they're detained. And actually, immigration problems are a civil offense. Like coming across the border is a civil offense, so it's not a criminal offense. So I think that's the biggest misconception. And they have all of these statements like immigrants are causing crime, undocumented people are the source of a lot of crime, and actually the statistics show that's not true.
What's the message you want to send to people, particularly about receiving this award today?
My heart is just so full. I'm just astounded that I was nominated at all. And
Why?
I don't know.
Why are you astounded? You're doing important work.
Keep doing work, you know, being a person, and I never do anything alone. You can't really do anything alone. So there's like hundreds of us who are helping together and doing this work. So it is kind of astounding. And I'm really glad because it draws attention to the people who need a lot of help. And perhaps there will be more volunteers and more people to help us. One of the hard jobs is creating the board of directors getting a lot of people who will help with fundraising, who will help make our organization strong in itself to do the work.
One of our honorees is Joe Brown, who has been connected with the Special Olympics of New Jersey. You really made Special Olympics of New Jersey very special, didn't you?
I'm very proud of that. That was my first experience since I got out of the hospital and all that. Dr. John Gletow said, "You want to volunteer with the Special Olympics?" And after that event, I saw the importance of being a volunteer and helping out, and it took off from there. We've been with John, a few of us, we've been involved with rowing events, golfing events, swimming events. It's all to help disabled children or catastrophically ill children. And that's been going on for years and years. But for the past 14 years, the one that's outstanding is Barry Hackett, who said, "I'm going to have a field for handicapped children. What do you think, guys?" The old crew got together and we said, "Let's do it." So we started with 30 kids and we got well over 200, probably into 300 now, and a state-of-the-art facility. And
what's interesting is that at 23 years of age, you were serving overseas. There was an accident that caused you to become paralyzed, and you could have gone a lot of different ways, could have chosen not to get involved and help other people. Why ultimately, Joe, did you decide to help other people?
well, when I was in the hospital, I saw how important advocacy was and volunteers. They were invaluable. What they helped me, they take us places, do things for us. I said, boy, I'd like to maybe pay back in some way. And it just evolved into, like I said, with John, with the Special Olympics, and it was very rewarding, and that's all I can say. It just was, here I am today, and it's receiving this honor. It's just amazing, this Russ Berrie Foundation.
To see more Caucus New Jersey with Steve Adubato programs, visit us online at steveadubato.org. If you would like to express an opinion, email us at info@caucusnj.org. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Steve Adubato, PhD. And follow us on Twitter at Steve Adubato.
We're speaking to one of our honorees, one of our very special. All of our honorees are special. This is Marlene Ceragno from Fort Lee, New Jersey. She started an organization. I mean, talk about imagination, talking about wanting to make a difference, called the Adult Care Brief Bank, which does and is?
We collect absorbent products for seniors who can't afford them. I collect them, and then organizations distribute them to our low-income seniors.
How did this all start?
Out of a need. I think most of these things start out of a need. My aunt had outlived her money. She became incontinent. She had dementia. So dementia is already such an expensive thing to take care of. I looked all over the place for benefits, someplace to help me pay for these items, because I went to the store, I came home crying. What bill am I not going to pay for so that I could afford these products? There's nothing out there. So I spoke at a senior needs hearing. People started reaching out. I was going for my master's in gerontology, and it was my capstone project that's now 4.5 years later, 100,000 briefs later, still going.
100,000 briefs later.
Yeah. We've collected and distributed through Meals on Wheels, Center for Food Action, Bergen County Cheer, all these wonderful organizations.
You know what's fascinating about, so many fascinating things about Marlene, but she had a different career earlier on, which was?
I was an optician. I worked early childhood.
Early childhood to that transition really fascinates me. Talk about that.
There's really not that much difference, you know? It's like 3-year-olds, they're sponges. They're getting out of absorbent wear, and 93-year-olds, I don't know, it's all about love. It's all about giving that attention to people who really need it. And in early childhood, I felt like as much as I gave, they went home and got more. But my seniors, so many of them live alone. If I touch them, they may not get touched till the next time they come to our senior center. So I just love it, and I learn from them every day. They're just a wealth of knowledge and stories. I love them.
Like everyone else who is being recognized today, the honorees, you did not do it for that reason. You do not do it for that reason. But what does it mean to be recognized today by this incredible foundation, this organization?
The Russ Berrie Award means validation and hope. It validates what I've been doing for the past 4.5 years, and it validates that senior needs actually matter. Somebody's listening. The hope is that at a Russ Berrie event like this, we're going to be creating awareness and reducing stigma, and that in a room like this full of like-minded, community-minded people, hopefully more people will get on board and not shy away from adult absorbent wear. Maybe they'll say, of course I'll have an adult care brief drive. It's very challenging to get an organization to put out a bin and a poster and collect briefs. It's easy to say, would you host a diaper drive? There's Huggies and Pampers and Loves in that bin, and it's cute. But when you ask somebody to have an adult care brief drive where there's Depends, Attends, Prevail, Discreet, it's a whole different ball game. So I'm hoping that with you and everybody spreading the word, that maybe somebody will realize, geez, somebody I love or somebody I know might be living with this silent issue.
You're doing important work, and we recognize and honor you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We're here with Danielle Gletow, one of the honorees at the Russ Berrie Awards for Making a Difference. I want to ask you, Danielle, you're starting an organization called One Simple Wish, making a huge difference. What is it?
One Simple Wish is an organization that aims to brighten the lives of children in foster care all over the United States. And we do this through a platform called our Wish Granting Program, which allows pretty much anybody to go online anytime and look at simple needs that children have all across the nation for things that most people took for granted as children. Things like bicycles and prom tickets and shoes, and they can grant them anytime. And we deliver these items to the kids and kind of try to turn some of those difficult memories that the kids had being in foster care or being victims of abuse and neglect into positive, happy childhood memories.
Why'd you decide to do this?
I became a foster parent in 2006, and my husband and I did that to start our family. And when we learned just how many kids were in foster care, it's over 500,000 every year, and we saw what they were having to deal with, that they were missing out on a lot of the things that we knew made us who we are as adults, just normal childhood experiences that we all enjoyed. We just felt like there's something we have to do to make sure more people not just know about this, but that people can actually do something to help them.
Talk about this award. I mean, Russ Berrie, when he started this with Angelica, wanted to recognize people. I mean, this foundation, this organization, has been recognizing people for a long time, making a difference. When you found out, what did you think?
I was incredibly honored. Anytime we're celebrating people doing good work, I think it's so important because there are really beautiful people in this world, and oftentimes the news is clouded with such negativity and a separation of people, and really most people are amazingly good, and it's nice to see that being celebrated. And I have to say that since I started this organization, I have met the best people in the world, and I'm excited to meet more of them here today.
What's a message to everybody else out there who says, that's great, an event's taking place today, the Russ Berrie Awards for Making a Difference, but that's not me. I don't think I can make a difference. You're shaking your head already. You say?
Every single person can make a difference, and I think that you should always remember the power that you have to change somebody's life, because even smiling at somebody can change the course of somebody's day. So never take that for granted and use your power for good.
We're speaking to the $50,000 winner of the Russ Berrie Making a Difference Awards. You were the last name that I announced. This is a very special event, and you're a very special honoree. Your organization is called Transition Professionals. By the way, tell everyone what that organization is all about.
So we're a second chance reentry organization and started in the Bergen County Jail. We still work in the Bergen County Jail where we provide transition services to anyone who's coming out of jail. Sometimes people go into jail in the summer and come out in the winter and they have no clothes on their back. So we provide them whatever is needed. If it's a housing or shelter referral, we provide that. Mental health referral, we will do their resume, we will do job searches, we'll help them get their ID, we provide counseling. So it's a resource center for anybody who comes out of jail and prison in the state of New Jersey. We work with the prisons, and if someone's coming out of Bayside or Mid-State and they come back to Bergen County, they'll send them to us first.
Why'd you start this?
Many years ago, someone asked me if I would come into the Bergen County Jail to talk to people about how to get a job upon release. And I did that. And services ended, and when I went back in 2009, I realized that many of the people I was dealing with couldn't get a job. There was no way they could get a job when they got out because they didn't have a place to live, or they didn't have ID, or they really didn't have any direction in their lives. So I started to turn things around and say, I'm going to start from the very basics, making sure they had food and shelter, and then making sure they had ID, and then making sure that we talked about gaps in employment and how to address the fact that they may have been away, and how to deal with an employer and talk to the employer about their skills and their knowledge and their abilities versus the fact that they were a felon or they had a gap in employment.
All right, let me ask you this. What do you think most Americans think of when they think of the people that you are dealing with, and what are the misconceptions many of us have about these people and what they want in their lives?
First of all, there's a stigma associated with people who come out of jail, just like there's a stigma associated with mental health. And many of the people that we deal with coming out of jail or prison do have mental health issues. It may be the reason that it put them in jail or prison in the first place, because they committed a crime, maybe they were an addict, maybe they have dual diagnosis. So many people who have issues do commit crimes, and it needs to be recognized that respect is important, and everybody deserves respect. And anybody who makes a mistake, because I'm sure you've made mistakes, just like I've made mistakes in our lives, whether they've led us to jail or not, we deserve a second chance. And the people that come out of jail or prison most certainly deserve those second chances.
How rewarding has it been for you?
Absolutely fulfilling. I could work 24 hours a day if my husband let me. But absolutely fulfilling, because getting the satisfaction, and most recently we had somebody come out of prison after 30 years. And within a month, he had his ID, he had everything he needed, he had his resume, he sent it out, he was a baker, and he had 7 job interviews and 2 offers.
What was it like for you when you saw that happen for this ex-offender who just wanted to have a good, positive quality of life just like the rest of us? There's no feeling that I could even share, because it's titillating. It is just a superb high, just knowing that you've helped somebody that wouldn't have been able to do this on his own, because he got out of prison with a check. He had made, I think he was telling me, made $1.30 a day. You know, in over 30 years, he had accumulated $2,000. He couldn't cash his check. So he came to us, and he was totally devastated. He had gone to banks, didn't know what to do because he didn't have ID, couldn't cash his check. We took care of that for him. And from that point on, we worked with him. We gave him clothing. We got him into the shelter. We did everything until he's back on his feet, and he is today. And finally, what do you feel about being recognized by this organization at this event on this day?
It's overwhelming. I don't even think the impact has really hit me yet. We are not funded. Our agency is totally nonprofit, and it is totally volunteer. No one gets paid. There's no salaries. Everything is a donation. I know you're looking at me like that, but I started this organization.
All the people volunteer?
Everybody. And we've got about 30 regular volunteers, from a psychologist, former parole supervisor, former probation supervisor. We have CADCs, which are certified alcohol and drug counselors, interns. We have people who've retired from their work lives, and they volunteer with us. And it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. Hopefully now that we've got some money coming in, I'll be able to hire people to offer more services. We have ideas, there's things we want to implement in the community, and with money and financing, we'll be able to do that.
One more. the feeling of being around the people who are also honored today?
Just seeing some of those people, from the girl who started, the clothing closet, to the woman that handles the adult, adult diapers, the girl who gave a piece of her liver. Oh my God!
To a little baby, a 9-month-old baby.
It's incredible. It is overwhelming. It's incredible, and it really makes your heart full to see that there are people out there that are doing the little bit that we can to help others.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
The preceding program has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of Caucus New Jersey has been provided by RWJ Barnabas Health, the Fidelco Group, ADP, Adler Aphasia Center, the North Ward Center, Georgian Court University, and by MD Advantage Insurance Company of New Jersey. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area. Caucus New Jersey has been produced in partnership with TriStar Studios.
Hi, I'm Eric. You might see me as an ordinary person, but I've been living with a brain injury for nearly 2 years. One of my struggles is short-term memory loss. At Opportunity Project, I'm given hope and support, and I've gained my comments back through the job placement program. Despite my challenges, I have a reason to keep improving. Today, even though life has changed me, I believe that anything is possible.
If you have a brain injury, you don't have to face your road to recovery alone.